inflamed, as Kirk mentioned, when Wayne Monroe Hayes collided with the man who was hired to take away supremacy in this rivalry, Jim Beckler, his former assistant. Games became epics, heightened, magnified, defined careers, delivered or dashed dreams, all of it in 60 minutes of football, once every 365 days.
There we go.
So, in about 5.5 hours, an Ohio State-Michigan collision that is identical to dozens of others in many ways, but also very different. It's the first ever 1-versus-2 collision in this rivalry. To the winner, an unprecedented 50-day wait until the BCS championship game in Glendale, Arizona. The consolation prize, perhaps, is a traditional carrot, the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. The Buckeyes roll in favorites, winners of 18 straight, a near unanimous #1 since day one, with a quarterback in Troy Smith who can perhaps secure the Heisman Trophy if he continues his mastery of Michigan for a 3rd straight year. The Wolverines arrive with a chip on their shoulder, carried from that preseason ranking of number 14. They've handled Notre Dame and Wisconsin, their only losses. They've trailed only 17 minutes all year. Their defense, #1 against the run. But against the 6 common opponents, the Buckeyes have been dominant, more than double the average margin of victory of Michigan. That's just a thumbnail, just some of the numbers, but guys, beneath the numbers. Yeah. As you two guys on the outside know, the emotions of this game that always plays such a huge part.
Well, the emotion of the Ohio State-Michigan game every year are unprecedented as far as a player is concerned. The night before, trying to get to sleep, I can tell you, is a very difficult thing because of the next morning. You're so excited, anticipating what it's going to be like to be able to have a chance to be a part of such a great rivalry. The players this year, I can't even imagine how they've tried to block out all the distractions. It's been 5 weeks that we've been counting this down. This week, all of the national media has been in Ann Arbor, in Columbus, and then all of a sudden the ball's going to go in the air. First 5 minutes of the game, Desmond, in my opinion, will go a long way in deciding which coaching staff did a better job of preparing their team with all this hype and everything that's at stake. Who's going to show up with more poise and more character to be able to get through all this craziness on the outside?
No, I agree with you. And both teams, both coaching staff have prepared their players in the past to big games. I mean, Tressel has been a national championship game. Laurie Carr has been a national championship game. So they know how to prepare their players week in and week out. As a player who's playing the game, I'm going to tell you, you could not sleep the night before the game. It was almost like a child waiting for Christmas. And the gift is this game. So once those guys take that field, the emotions, the adrenaline is going to be flowing so strongly that this is going to explode in the horseshoe today. You know, you've coached in big games. You can tell us about it.
Not this kind of game. I tell you, you know, it's an important game here in Columbus and all over the country, but it's also all over the world. While I was working out this week, I met an Army sergeant named Rick Wells. He just got back from Iraq. He told me that his company built a small television room so they could watch College Game Day on Saturday nights, 8 to 10 in Iraq. Saturday nights in Iraq. Hope you guys enjoy the game. I'll tell you one thing. Godspeed to you guys. Thanks for what you've done for us. Hope you enjoy the show. And let's have it go.
Hey, man, this is a global event. There's 770,000 living alums of these two schools combined. Only 2 of them out here, but they're all over the globe. They'll be watching, we've been told, on the internet, in Singapore, in Scotland, a pub in Paris, on the Rock of Gibraltar in South Africa. It's a Michigan man's house. I mean, that's the kind of global event this has. Coming up, Kirk's visit with Troy Smith, a visit with the Michigan defense determined to stop him today. And James Laurinaitis, Ohio's
on the opposing side. So we're going to have to show our best.
Legends are born, legacies are cemented by how players play in this game. Think of the names: Pearson, Howard, Woodson. They would have been big names, but they're a little bit bigger because they came up big against Ohio State. So will somebody today start writing their own legendary tale? I have no idea, but I can't wait to go inside that stadium and find out if it's going to be a Wolverine or if it's going to be a Buckeye. Dave, back to you.
Well, and you know, especially for the seniors, this game will have tremendous meaning in their last Michigan-Ohio State game. And when guys get back together years later, Tom, you know, it's, hey, how did you do against Ohio State? You know, so it's very, very important that these guys have success today and in every meeting against the Buckeyes. You watch this Ohio State team closely. Troy Smith, your impressions of this young man. He is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, and he's a guy that Michigan will have to try to somehow stop today if they can.
Not only the frontrunner for the Heisman Trophy, but Dave, I picked up the Columbus Post-Dispatch today, and there was a poll question there that said, if Troy Smith leads the Buckeyes to a victory against Michigan, will he be the greatest Buckeye quarterback ever? Guess what the response was? 97% of Buckeye fans said yes. This guy would be the greatest Buckeye quarterback ever. Now, I understand the Buckeyes don't have the same quarterback history that Michigan does. There aren't a ton of guys that you recall being great NFL stars after their career at Ohio State. But Troy Smith has done things on that field behind me and on the field in Ann Arbor that has already cemented his legacy as a great Ohio State quarterback.
Well, and Chad Henne has had a fine career to this point, but, you know, you need to win a big game in Columbus as well, and there's no bigger game and no bigger challenge for that young man under center than what he's going to face today against the Buckeyes.
Biggest challenge that this kid has ever faced. I have known Chad since he was 14 years old. I covered him when he was a high school student at Wilson in West Lawn, Pennsylvania. He has the heart of a champion. He has character that I've never seen in many athletes. He is so tough. Let me share a quick story about him. When he was 14, against his arch rival back then on the road, he dislocated his shoulder. And you just got to keep reminding yourself he was 14. Went over to the sideline. They popped the shoulder back in. It was his left shoulder, not his throwing arm. He proceeded to go back out in the next series and lead his team not only to a touchdown on that drive, but he threw 2 more touchdown passes in that game. So this kid has toughness, he has heart, and if he wins this game today, it'll be the biggest win, no question, of his career.
Well, and what did Lloyd Carr say in terms of how he begins assessing a quarterback? It's toughness first. I mean, Chad Henne with that story, I mean, he embodies toughness, and that's a good thing if he's on your team, right?
He is a strange mixture of a quarterback and a wrestler. He actually wrestled in high school as well, which is just, you don't see a lot of quarterbacks out there on the wrestling mat. He's incredibly tough, but he's also very smart. You have to be smart if you come to Michigan and you pick up this offense and you take this team as a 18-year-old.
All right, we've lost our connection right for the moment with Tom Lydon down in Columbus as he was wrapping up his comments about Chad Henne. We'll go back to Tom in Columbus and talk more about Chad Henne when we talk about the keys to a Michigan victory over Ohio State today. We've got much more still to come on our special 2-hour edition of The Big Game. Michigan, Ohio State, preparing to battle in Columbus. We hope you stay with us. We'll be right back.
Full of college football, and it's not the national championship game.
Wangler throws downfield and it's caught by Geiger. Geiger does it. Tony, Geiger, Spider, the darter.
The outcome of this game usually produces heroes and goats, thrills and heartaches, second guessing and blame, sometimes even controversy that's debated for years, but mostly memories, good and bad, for the players, coaches, and fans that last a lifetime.
And welcome back. This Michigan-Ohio State game is about as big as it gets in college football, especially for a regular season conference game. Vic Faust takes a look at the hype, the craziness, and the reality at what's at stake.
One of the best rivalries in sports is even better this week as Ohio State and Michigan meet in a historic contest.
1 and 2, it's never happened in the tradition of Ohio State and Michigan. And everybody's looking forward to this game, but it all comes down to Saturday. It doesn't matter about the hype.
Everything's on the line. The Big Ten championship, chance to go to Glendale, Arizona for the national championship. Can't ask for more than that.
This isn't just a monumental affair in Michigan and Ohio. The pregame hype is being felt all across the country.
It's what every young kid watching that third Saturday in November playing Ohio State and Michigan, they want to play in this game.
With so much leaning on this matchup, you would think the pressure would be enormous. Not the case, according to Reuben Riley.
11-0 isn't pressure. Pressure is when you're trying to get into a bowl and do all those things. You know, we're just going out there to play to the best of our ability.
I wish I could stand back and say, my God, look at, you know, what you're part of. But there's, you know, there's a game coming.
No downplaying this matchup. It's obvious what's at stake. And regardless of whatever these young men go on to in their lives, chances are they'll never be a part of an event of this magnitude ever again. In Ann Arbor, I'm Vic Faust for the Big Ten Ticket.
All right, Vic, thank you very much. One more great chapter in a tremendous rivalry in college football. Maybe the best in college football. Heck, maybe the best in all of sports. Michigan and Ohio State. We will be thrilled to watch all of it unfold again this afternoon right here on Channel 7. Kickoff just after 3:30. And there is plenty more to come as we continue our special coverage of Michigan and Ohio State, the game. And there have been so many great memories in this series over the years. We'll be right back.
9-0 Buckeyes. And Greasy's first pass drilled to Ty Street. He's wide open and gone for a touchdown.
Greasy's pass complete to 86, Ty Streets.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
One of the most memorable plays in a great rivalry, Michigan and Ohio State, Desmond Howard, for the Heisman pose in the end zone, but for that punt return as well. He was electric, and boy, didn't the fans love that punt return and touchdown in this wonderful rivalry, Michigan and Ohio State. You know, it's tough following a legend, and that's what Gary Moeller did when he replaced Bo Schembechler as Michigan's head coach. Frank Beckman did the same thing in the broadcast booth many years ago. Frank followed the great Bob Ufer. Let's go back to Tom Lydon. He's live in Columbus. Tom talked with Frank on the eve of the big game about the matchup, and I'm guessing about his relationship with Bo Schembechler as well. Tom, before we do that, you know, we're getting set for the kickoff in Columbus. Top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes against the number 2-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Both teams unbeaten. The Big Ten championship on the line. A spot in the national championship game on the line, as well as these arch rivals renew the rivalry, this time in Columbus. We want to go back to Ann Arbor now. Action News reporter Ray Saya is outside Schembechler Hall. Ray, there's going to be a memorial on Tuesday for Bo Schembechler, 1 p.m. inside Michigan Stadium. You have been seeing Michigan fans the last 2 days coming to Schembechler Hall to pay tribute, and that's going to continue for days and days, I'm thinking, in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, no question about it, Dave, and it continues here at this hour. A steady stream of fans and admirers are coming here to Schembechler Hall, paying their tributes in front of this makeshift memorial, taking pictures, praying, leaving personal items, leaving notes. You know, for the past 24 hours, we focused on Bo Schembechler, the legend, but I think when this emotion dies down weeks from now, we will look back at the timing of his passing. The night before Michigan, Ohio State, the so-called biggest game in college football history, number 1 against number 2, the rivalry that Bo Schembechler himself helped start, and he passes away a day before the game. And of course, today is game day, and many who don't know Bo Schembechler, don't know about Michigan football, will ask, is it right to talk about a game after a passing of a coach? And the Michigan fans will tell you, yes, we will cheer, we will root the Michigan Wolverines on because of Bo's spirit, and will be inspired by his toughness. Was Bo Schembechler? How fearless was this Michigan giant? His doctors say despite 4 decades of battling heart disease, despite heart surgery less than 4 weeks ago, Bo never slowed down. He continued to tackle life with a linebacker's intensity.
That's Bo Schembechler. I mean, just a great spirit and a great character, and that just is who he is.
And it is that unbreakable spirit Bo's fans point to when you ask, how important is today's game now? Michigan, Ohio State, the so-called biggest college football game ever. Bo's fans will tell you, if you don't think this game is more important than ever, obviously you didn't know Bo.
You want to give everything you have, even more so than before, as like a memento to him, as like a respect to him. You go out and give everything you have and even more.
They'll do what he would have wanted them to do, and I can hear him saying in that gravelly voice, you just go out there and play. Forget about this.
Hey, it's going to be tough to forget about a legend's passing. Young and old, they're here paying tribute to Bo Schembechler, and they know that something significant is going on. This is a card here that people are using to write, to pay their respects to Bo, and I can read you some things here. Bo, you taught and coached generations of Wolverines how to be Michigan men. You were and still are one of the guiding forces behind uniting and bridging the gaps between everyone on campus, one of the greatest human beings ever. Here's another one. Boy, Bo, you are the best. You made the university what it is today. It wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Again, it wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Now, some people might say it's kind of an exaggeration, University of Michigan not being here if it wasn't for Bo. But keep in mind, these days in big-time college football athletics, sports brings in a lot of money and a lot of programs, and academics included, use that money to sustain some very important programs. So that may be an exaggeration, but certainly Bo Schembechler, a significant figure in University of Michigan history. And Dave, as we pass it back to you in the studio, I can't help but envision this scene that's going to come up in a couple of hours, that locker room minutes before game time, and Lloyd Carr giving that pregame speech, and those players rushing out in the field at the Horseshoe. It's going to be quite a scene.
Yeah, I think it is. I think those players are going to play with tremendous purpose. Obviously, they want to win the game for themselves and for the Michigan football program, but Bo, I think, will be inside their hearts today as well as they get set to meet the challenge of the Buckeyes down in Columbus. Ray, great job in Ann Arbor. Thanks for your contributions to this 2-hour special as we get set for the Buckeyes and the Wolverines. We appreciate it very much. And we're going to have more to come as we get set for a kickoff down in Columbus. Fans are making their way to the big Horseshoe down on the campus of The Ohio State University. That stadium will be jammed with Buckeye fans and, yeah, a few fans of the Wolverines as well. An electric atmosphere for the biggest college football game of the season. We'll continue with our special look at the big game. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The most refreshing aspect of this event is it provides a pretty civilized atmosphere for very intelligent football fans to bicker about the merits of their favorite football team.
There's an old saying about the Buckeyes, you can't reason with them, but you can only shut them up for another year.
Okay, maybe it's not all intelligent, but at least it's entertaining.
Thanksgiving is approaching fast, and families draw near to watch a little football, to drink a little beer. This year in Columbus, my eye can see the scene. Instead of having turkey, we'll all feast on Wolverine.
Ooh, this is something new. Coach Tressel will only dress 20 players. The rest will dress themselves.
We actually have a coach now that makes sure our football players go to class. We got coaches keeping them out of jail. And the cars you're driving, you haven't found out about yet.
All in good fun, all in the spirit of competition and degradation. The Great Debate. In Sterling Heights, Tom Lydon, Channel 7 Sports. Isn't that what it's all about? It's college football. It's a lot of fun. We've been hearing from the Ohio State fans as they've walked by our little perch here. A lot of T-shirts that we wouldn't be allowed to put on TV. I'll tell you that much. These guys, not necessarily the classiest fans in the United States, but certainly some of the most spirited. I am definitely looking forward to about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours from now.
As we get you set for kickoff, Michigan and Ohio State, the rivalry, the big game rivalry continues. We'll be right back.
Coaching against his mentor, Woody Hayes, Schembechler and the Wolverines upset the unbeaten and top-ranked Buckeyes 24-12. That personal battle would continue through the 1978 season, with Bo winning 5 of those classic matchups to 4 victories for Woody. The 1973 game ended in a tie, and in a controversial decision, Big Ten athletic directors selected the Buckeyes to represent the conference in the Rose Bowl. It took Schembechler 6 tries to finally win a Rose Bowl game. The breakthrough came in the 1981 game against the University of Washington. Butch Woolfolk rushed for 182 yards and scored once, and Anthony Carter caught a 7-yard touchdown pass from quarterback John Wangler. The Wolverines giving Schembechler a 23-6 victory.
5 times I've been out here, and my team and myself have been lower than a snake's belly.
Millie told me that when you... 1 year later, Schembechler faced the biggest decision of his career. Texas A&M came calling, offering a lucrative financial package in an effort to lure Bo away from Ann Arbor. After heart-wrenching consideration, Schembechler announced his decision.
I debated it, as you know, longer than I thought I would. And I came to the conclusion that there are things that are more important to me. And one of them is Michigan. And with that in mind, I'm staying where I belong, right here.
With the decision behind him, the victories and championships continued. And on November 22nd, 1986, Schembechler became Michigan's winningest all-time coach. Fittingly, the milestone victory came against Ohio State.
The objective to beat Ohio State, we accomplished. Yeah! Number 2, there is no co in front of
Schembechler has had a history of heart trouble. He missed his first Rose Bowl game after suffering a heart attack. And twice, Schembechler has undergone major heart surgery, most recently in 1987, when a quadruple bypass operation was performed. But in typical Bo style, he returned with his game face on.
But let me tell you something. Michigan's no cream puff. Don't you ever think that. Anybody that counts us out in '88 is making one hell of a mistake.
Schembechler added the duties of athletic director to his already demanding schedule in the spring of 1988, but football still came first with him. Only an opening loss to Notre Dame has marred Schembechler's 21st season as coach. The Wolverines put together 10 straight wins to earn back-to-back Big Ten titles and secure his 10th trip to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl.
For the players, this was special. And it was very special. It's both special for me and the coaches, don't get me wrong. But we don't have time to celebrate.
Schembechler on the sidelines is a man in motion, in charge. He's fiery, in many ways bigger than life. It's that visual image of Bo arguing with officials, working for his team, that many will keep of Schembechler when he takes off his headset for the final time.
A special man and a special rivalry. My thanks to Don Shane, Tom Lydon, Ray Saya, and all the talented people here at Channel 7 that made this special broadcast possible. Enjoy the game, everyone. Michigan and Ohio State.